Talk to me a little bit about today's loss.
It was a tough game for us. Obviously, LA is really good, especially at home. And we put ourselves in a little bit of a hole early on. We did dig out and cut it to about 4 or 5 at one point, made it interesting. Actually, maybe even 2. But yeah, then they came back at us and made, basically just more plays at the end.
Were you happy defensively where you guys stood? What do you think? Where do you think you could improve?
Yes and no. Obviously, we lost, so we definitely need to improve. But I think for the most part, our defense was tough. A lot of their points were in transition, which means they were just able to either get rebounds or cause turnovers and push it at us. But when our half-court defense was set, we did a pretty decent job.
Despite your loss, I don't know if you're aware, but I'm going to read you a couple of stats here. You passed today Lauren Jackson for most field goals made in Seattle franchise history, and you become the 8th player in the WNBA history to reach 600 steals. Do the numbers mean anything to you personally?
It means you're old, right? I think a lot of these milestones obviously come later in your career, and I think they're the type of thing that speak to longevity, maybe speak to some consistency throughout the years. But I think they're the type of thing that you might look back on when you're done, when you're retired, and be proud of. Obviously, to be at the top of any list in the WNBA, if you look at those names up there, like you mentioned Lauren Jackson, I can only imagine who's on that steals list. It's good to be in the same sentence as those players. So, of course, it says something, but just numbers.
And of course, you're coming off fresh from Seattle All-Star Weekend. I'm going to tell you, you were probably my favorite one to watch just because your energy is so infectious and you're always smiling out there. Talk to me about the whole experience and what it meant for you to have it in Seattle.
Right. Well, obviously for me in Seattle, it was really special. I think the All-Star Game is generally a very fun, lighthearted event. But this time around, the city of Seattle, the franchise, they did a really good job of making it a special event. And I could feel that. I could certainly feel the love from the fans, and I'm pretty sure that's why I had a smile on my face. Not even the poor performance in the three-point contest was going to bring me down. All in all, it was just really a very, I don't know, just an amazing weekend. It really was. It's one of those memories I'll hold with me forever.
And of course, you had your teammate there in Stewie. What was that whole experience like, getting it to share with her?
Yeah, it was great. Obviously, for Stewie, it's her first All-Star appearance. The fact that it was in Seattle and it was her first, it gives it that little extra umph. So I think she enjoyed it. She did great. But yeah, the whole weekend, it really was just a lot of fun.
And of course, you made a huge elevation as far as your personal life, and I'm sure you're sick and tired of talking about it now. Are you surprised at how much attention you've gotten and how many people have reached out to you with words and things like that?
Yeah, yes and no. I think I knew people would talk about it. I knew I'd get questions. I knew there would be some feedback or whatnot. But, I think for the most part, we are slowly getting to a point just in society, not just sports, but just in society in general, where these kinds of announcements don't make that many waves. Of course, there's some ripples. There's still some ripples, but not quite the wave that it once made, which is a good thing. Simultaneously, it is still important for people to come out because, it does empower younger generations. It does give, I've had tons of kids already, or younger people, like early 20s, that type of thing, say how much it helped them and they came out or this happened or that happened. So it's been a lot of positive feedback. It's been great. So can't complain.
And lastly, we are officially in the second part of the season. What do you hope to gain from the second half?
We just, we've had some ups and downs in our season, and I think we're still in a position to make a push. It's going to be tough. We're on the road a lot, but when we play our game, when we play our way, good things do tend to happen. I think we at times just get a little mental. So we know it's not really necessarily an X's and O's thing. It's the way in which we play. So we're just focused on ourselves, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks so much, Sue.
Thank you for having me.